Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, and it's Tuesday Night Live. It's the cruise show live, and I'm coming to you live and direct from the Nature Coast of Florida, north of Tampa, Spring Hill, Florida. Hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to the show. A lot of things to talk about tonight. Been doing some cruising. Just got back from the Sky Princess. Of course, the lovely Jenny B took an injury on the Sky Princess. We'll talk about that. Also, a big trip coming up soon. Cruising to New Zealand via Australia. All of those topics and more are on the table. If you're brand new to the show, welcome. I'd love to hear from you. Just type new in front of your name as I'm looking over. If I'm looking over in the comments, type new. I'll try to say hello. If you have a question, type the word question in front of your question as I'm looking over at the comments. I will do my best to answer that. And that's basically the ground rules. We'll talk about any and all things. I'll do my best to answer your questions. And, let's do it. Let's do it as it were. Big shout out to the Blue Crew already in the house. Big hello to everybody. Tawisha Ewan, new. K. Matthew, 99, new. Mike Chamberlain, new. Spencer Rosnes, new. Hello, everybody. So glad to have you. If you're brand new, your homework is to hit the like button. We have 511 people, 168 likes. I think we can get to... I don't know, what would be a good like goal by 9:30? I think we can get to 1 million likes by 9:30. Let's see if we can get to 500. I think we can do it. Okay, so what have we been doing? I just came off of the Carnival celebration, the Wonder of the Seas, and the Sky Princess. Quick update on Jenny B. She is recovering well. She is able to move around a lot better today than yesterday, and of course better than the day before. The doctor said it would take anywhere between 10 and 15 days for her to get her full mobility back, to do her best to stay off her foot. And so we've been doing that. We've been icing the thing down, been taking the pain meds when she needs the pain meds, all the things. So she is recovering well. Our son Gregory is home for a couple days. We're taking him to the airport tomorrow. And then, then we're going to have Christmas. The cool thing is when our son is home, we just send him around. So we just sent him on a coffee run. So that should be happening soon. My brother Retro Sarge is international traveling right now. I see him in the house. He is over in Germany. What's going on, my brother? I hope you're having a good time. I've been so jealous of those pictures. Looks like you're seeing some fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. All right. What do you think? Riding with Kitty is here. Jacqueline is here. What's going on, everybody? Merry Christmas to everybody. Question from Craig. Your opinion on the Princess quality of food in relation to other major cruise lines? I had, it was pretty good. Like the main dining room's pretty good. I thought that food was good. The buffet is pretty good too. So yeah, I like Princess as far as the buffet and the main dining room. Had a little challenge on this cruise the very first time we used room service, but fortunately we used it 2 more times and it was good. I would say if you're looking for a good food experience, you can't go wrong with Princess. Question, will you be trying MSC ships for review for us the next year? Yeah, Donna, it's been a good year since I've been on an MSC ship, the Meraviglia being the last one. I watched some video from the Seascape and it looked interesting. I would like to. So next year's pretty wide open. It's pretty crazy. No more cruising for us for 2022, but man, I think we did a lot. I think that number might be close to 20. I'll have to go back and count. But yeah, so then we kick off the 2023 season going to this New Zealand cruise. And then we have 3 group cruises. We have one at the end of February. No, the one at the end of January. I'm sorry, one at the end of January. We have a cruise on that's the NCL Breakaway. Then we have the Prima cruise. I think it's the first or second week in March. And then we have a Halloween cruise in October. And that's all the cruises I have booked this year. So there's a lot of open spaces. Definitely MSC's been on my mind. So maybe I'll be able to do that. Aaron Connell, question, what's been my favorite cruise of this year? I don't know. Like, I've been thinking about that in a broad way. Like, maybe I should make a video on what my favorite cruise has been this year. Some things that come to mind, I really enjoyed the Panama Canal, going to Los Angeles, going to the Mexican Riviera, going to Las Vegas trip. I thought that was really good. Both Alaska cruises were good. I think I'd really have to sit down and figure out what I thought was my favorite for this year, but those are the ones that come to mind straight away. Wendy's Zapone, thank you so much for the super chat. Question, Don talked about how bad room service was on the Sky Princess. How was the food in the other venues and the delivery of drinks via the app? So the very first couple of days, I don't think any of it worked very well. The room service wasn't that good. The drink service wasn't that good, but it got better as the cruise went on. Like I said, the buffet and the main dining room, very good food. And then the room service got better as time went on. So it's kind of like one of those deals where, for me, you got to feel it out a little bit, you know. And by the end of the cruise, I was very happy with the room service. The app's weird. Like, I'm not loving the app as much as I did in the beginning, especially for things like figuring out what time shows and those kind of things are. So I think there's a little bit of a challenge, some work for Princess to do with the app. I'm never much of an app order my drink. Like, if I'm gonna pass a bar anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get it, or I'd rather talk to a server because I have a greater level of confidence. When I was working in the morning, though, like when I'd find a spot quiet somewhere where there wasn't servers or a bar, I would use the app and the drinks would come. So yeah, it's I don't know. Like, again, it's no shade against Don or anybody, but it feels like we're pretty heavy on the complaining right now, and I'm starting to feel a little wary of the complaining, especially on the cruise ship. Don and I think probably most other people with some sort of following, we end up becoming like a complaint department, and so I spent a lot of time fielding complaints on the cruise ship. But because of that, I also spent a lot of time asking other people that I ran into, are you having a good time on the cruise? And so to me, it was a pretty decent mix of people that were having a blast on the cruise and people that were complaining. So it's hard to say, but it feels like it's just a weird time right now. A lot of complaining, a lot of negative people. I don't know what's going on in cruising, but I think we have the power within ourselves to turn the tide. Interesting. Question from Nautical Nurse Nancy. What's going on, Nancy? How did my brother-in-law like? He liked it. I think they'll do it again. They liked all aspects of it. So I think that's going to be pretty cool to have them really wanting to go cruising. So that was kind of sweet. Let's see. Question, will you be in Wellington, New Zealand during your cruise? I'm based in Wellington. You will not be disappointed. Yes, Jack Ellis. We will be in Wellington. Started trying to book here's the challenge. We've started trying to book some of our excursions. We got our booking number, and the two excursions I really want to go on, the Lord of the Rings filming locations and the Hobbit Hole, both of those are sold out. Those are in two different cities. I don't think either one of those was in Wellington. But then we also booked like a boat animal sanctuary thing. That trip is coming together. There's a lot of moving pieces, but I will be in Wellington. I just don't know what day it is. I'm looking forward to that. Daryl K, did you ever consider an Alaska group cruise? We did one last year. So yes, we've considered and done an Alaska group cruise. I'm not sure, again, we don't have any group cruises scheduled past 2023. So I'm not sure what the group cruise is going to look like. I'm working on a whole different iteration of the group cruise, honestly. I've sat down and I've blocked out some time and actually just did some think tank type stuff on how we could change the way group cruises are done, right? It's all pretty much similar right now, and it's okay. Like, I think we have a good time on the La Lita Loca group cruise. I think that experience could be different, and so I'm really trying to put our heads together. Jenny and I are trying to put our heads together. If we're going to continue to do group cruises, how can we evolve those in a way that it's better? And so that's what we're working on. One of the many things we're working on. Question from Anthony Griffin New. Welcome, Anthony. Question, what dates are you taking the New Zealand cruise, and when are you arriving in my home of Sydney? Arriving in Sydney on the 30th. The cruise is on the 2nd. And we have a friend, somebody that's been part of the locafam forever that we've known virtually that's lives in Sydney. So it looks like I'm going to get an interesting tour of Sydney, a good tour of Sydney. So I'm kind of excited to have somebody on the ground there to do that. Yeah, it's going to be great. Question, have you considered a New Year's group cruise? Joseph, not really. We haven't. James Banton, question, did you hear about the symphony picking up 21 people off the coast of Cuba last week? I might have, James. I try to cover those stories. Fortunately, there's a lot of those this year. It's very sad to me because I've been to Cuba. The people there are people like everybody else, and obviously they just want a better life. And so it's very sad that they have to take to the sea, and there's really nothing that there's no. It's sad. Like, I don't know what the answer to that question is, but yeah, I'm glad that these ships are out there trying to save people from peril. I know probably sometimes the folks probably don't want to be picked up because they know that means they're going to end up going back to Cuba, but you know, I would assume it's better to be alive for another day to try again. But yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I got coffee delivery. Thank you, sir.
Of course.
It's a beautiful thing about having a kid with a car. How about that? This coffee's delicious. Kirk says, can I give one quick over of the Carnival Panorama? I will be selling it in March. It's a great ship. I really enjoy the layout of the Horizon. So now I've been on the Vista, the Horizon, and the Panorama. If it's sailing out of Long Beach, even the terminal's cool. It's where they used to keep the Spruce Goose. It's got all the stuff that you want. Just get to know the floors of the things that you want, and you'll be fine. I don't know. Go watch a video of a ship tour, but I don't know what I could tell you for a once over. What kind of question do you have about it? Question, why are people yelling? Because they see you, Tess, and they're trying to get your attention. Like, hey, what's going on, Tess? What are the best excursions to do in Alaska, Linda asked. I say, Linda Evans, I would go on a whale watching tour, and I would go to one of the glaciers where you can see a glacier up close. I think if you do that, you're going to really be satisfied with your Alaska trip. Possibly going into riding that train in Skagway. I didn't like the train, but a lot of people love the train. And then maybe getting some local food. Get some crab. Go get a local beer. All of those things are fun. Question from Julie Smith. Of all the places you've cruised, what has been your favorite place that you've traveled, and which ship is your favorite? I'm going to say that the Oasis of the Seas is still my favorite cruise ship. I've yet to match the magical feeling I had the first time that I went on the Oasis of the Seas. I love the fact that they had a Broadway play. They had Cats, which I'd never seen in my life. That show was so challenging. I know so many people are dismissive of that. I sat there in that theater on the Oasis of the Seas and I said, what is the point of this cat story? And it really opened up for me in after the second intermission that it was a redemption story, and I was fully into it. Then you got the aqua show, you got the ice skating. That's still my favorite ship. Probably the favorite place I ever went to is when we went to Yokohama and we went to one of the temples there in Tokyo. I can't remember the name. And we saw people worshiping there at those temples in addition to the big market that was near there. And then, I had sushi kind of in the shadow of the temple late into the evening with my friend Don in Japan. That's probably one of my favorite ports that I've ever been to. And then St. Thomas on the Caribbean side, I've had some great times. Jenny and I have gone tours up the mountain, and it's just beautiful there. St. Thomas, St. Martin, but Japan's hard to beat. Alaska, all those Alaska ports too. Jonathan Branch with a question. Have you booked the Icon in 2024? No, not yet. I learned my lesson, I feel like, with Wonder of the Seas, and I really want the Icon to come out and everybody to go have a good time on the Icon, and then eventually I'll get on the Icon. So, let's see. Have I booked the Wonder of the Seas? Suites are expensive. I haven't. I went on the Wonder of the Seas in a balcony on its inaugural. We paid about $3,500 for just a balcony. It was pretty expensive, but... let's see. Question. I'm taking my first cruise on Friday. What is a must do? So, Suzanne, two things. Make sure that all your paperwork is in order, that you don't have any trouble for embarkation. Make sure you keep your boarding pass. Keep that handy. If you're not doing it digitally, make sure you have your passport, your birth certificate, whatever. Make sure that's not packed in the luggage that you give to the people, like the porters, to put on the ship. That's the first. And then the second thing, whether it's a paper copy or a digital copy, make sure every morning you look through all the events that day on the cruise and highlight one or two things that you would like to do. Don't feel like you have to do the things that you highlight, but don't not highlight some things, because you don't want to get to the end of your cruise and go, wow, I didn't do anything, or I missed the thing, that kind of thing. Do a little planning every day. See what the ship is offering and try to get some of that in. That way, I think you'll get the most out of your cruise experience. Do you need a visa, COVID test, and Australian currency for Australia? I don't know. So I think there's still masks down there. I definitely needed a visa. So I've completed the visa for Australia. I've completed the visa for New Zealand. I do believe that if you do have a COVID test requirement that you can just self-test and then and affirm that you self-tested. So I do have some COVID tests that I could take with me. And I do feel like I will have to do some conversion of currency to Australian currency. So I've still got that going on in the next 10 days to figure that out. And of course, my credit card will do the conversion also. So I think I'm okay using like one of my credit cards there too. Will I organize a trip to Japan? Probably not. Don't have anything like that going on. The sushi was not incredibly different in Japan than in the U.S. So maybe I've just had some good sushi here. But again, the sushi, the restaurant, it was just so quaint. It was just like, it was very small. It was right there. It's pretty nice. Question, will Don be on the January 29th group cruise? Yes, he's going to be on that cruise. That's going to be fun. Question, going on the Vision of the season August to New England, Canada, any recommendation? Must do short excursions. I've never done that trip. I don't know. The only thing I think about when going on that is to get a beaver tail, which is like a sweet food for fat kids, I guess, for all people. But it really speaks to the inner fat kid for me. Beaver tail is like some fried thing with, Nutella spread on it. That's what I think about when I think about that cruise, and then eating lobster in Portland, Maine. But yeah, so I don't know. I would have to research the ports. If anybody's been up to those ports, what should they do there in there? Let's see. You need a visa for Australia, and they do not take U.S. currency. Yeah. So I figured I got to get the currency. One thing that you do in St. Thomas, go to Magens Bay if you're a beach person. That's the premier beach really in the Caribbean. If you want something fun, you can go up to the top of the mountain to the banana daiquiri place, the world famous banana daiquiri place, the mountaintop gift shop. And you can see all of the U.S. Virgin Islands, or like 6 of them, something like that. And you can look down upon Magens Bay. Or if you want to stay close to the port, I would do what Don and I did the other day and go ride that sky tram. They say the Pirate Museum is really neat that we walk by too. So I would maybe check that out. Tim Bowman with a question. We were just in New Zealand and we booked Hobbitown as a private tour excursion out of Taronga. Who did you book with? Because Viator doesn't offer it the day that I'm going to be there. Check out the Weta Studio. Yeah, that in Wellington. That's what I want to go to. So one can do that without a tour. So that was the other thing that sold out, the Lord of the Rings filming locations and the Weta Studio. So that must have been in Wellington. Tim, who did you use? I need to look them up. Question, would you do another Virgin cruise since they are the identical ships? Would you repeat the Scarlet Lady? Yes, Chris, I would, especially if I could take Jenny on it. I liked the whole Virgin vibe. I enjoyed it. I liked the ship without kids on it. So I would like to try their other cruise ship, the Valiant Lady. I'd like to go back and maybe get the tattoo there. I talked to the people in the tattoo parlor. They were very nice. And I think it would be cool to do that. I don't know. There's a lot of things I like about Virgin. I definitely would like to try another Virgin cruise. I would like them to go a little longer though. So like longer than just the 4 days. Going for Maine lobster. That sounds good. What's going on, Mike from Nebraska? Coffee is delicious. Beachy port calls or city ports? I don't like the beach at all. I don't really like sunshine, so I'm for city ports. I'm for historical type stuff. Question from Carolyn Jackson. NCL is offering triple points through January the 31st for most, not all, 2023 sailings. Do you think they will sweeten their latitude program with more people becoming ambassadors? I don't know. But triple points is good. I mean, that's how I moved up in Royal with the double points, so I'm not sure. What do you think of the new Carnival celebration? Lee from North Carolina knew the show. Lee, welcome to the show. I liked it. I enjoyed the Carnival celebration. That might have been the most, out of the 3 cruises that I had with the celebration, the Wonder of the Seas, and then Sky Princess, it was the most fun I had on a cruise out of those 3. So it was really good. Question, where to visit in Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, Cabo San Lucas? I can really only think about Cabo because it's some footage I just looked at again recently. I took an excursion in Cabo that took you to Cabo, and then you got on a boat and you went out and saw the natural arch, And then part 2 of that excursion was they took you to a local glass blowing studio where they made blown glass out of recycled glass. That was fantastic. And then they took you to a shopping area. I don't know what ship we were on the Carnival Vista there, right? Carnival Vista, no, Carnival Panorama. So that was a Carnival excursion. That's what I would do in Cabo. I can't remember what I did in Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan. I think I went to the Puerto Vallarta. I went to the Walmart and the Starbucks one time, and then I also went to the Malecon, the boardwalk, and I think I went to the what did I do in Mazatlan? I don't know, but the boardwalk area is neat in Puerto Vallarta if you want to check that out. Crazy Cat, good question. Crazy Cat Traveler, thank you so much for the super chat. Meowie Christmas, a little present for me and the fur children. Thank you so much. Meowie Christmas back at you. Cindy Bishop, thank you so much for the super chat. Tony, can you please say hello to my husband Paul? He enjoys watching your vlogs with me, and we're both looking forward to meeting you in January. Paul, what's up, my man? Can't wait to see you in January. And thanks for watching the show, and thank you guys for the super chat. How about that? Did we do any specialty dining on the Sky? No. We did have a plan to go to the French Bistro, and we were invited there. Gosh, what was the guy's name? Oh, it's slipping my mind just because I got so much on my mind. But we were invited to go to the bistro, and then that was the evening that Jenny B hurt herself, or the night before she hurt herself. So we didn't get to do any of the specialty dining, and then the steakhouse was sold out the whole time. Sashko, I think that was the gentleman's name. I've got a great picture. Do I cruise for the ship or the destination? I would say primarily the ship when I'm going to the Caribbean now, and then the destination if I'm going like to Alaska or somewhere like that. It's a good question, Ron. Christopher Brown, thanks so much for the super chat. Sending healing to Jenny. Enjoy my handmade soap. Thank you so much for the super chat. Question, do you feel like pricing will spike in 2023? Love to break away the Whiskey Bar Rocks Blackberry Bourbon Smash. K. Matthew, I think if there's a high demand and the business is going to charge as much as the consumer will tolerate. So if the demand is high and the inventory is low, they're going to keep pushing the price up. So now if it swings the other way and all of a sudden people stop booking cruises and there's a lot of empty space, then the prices will come down. Question, going on the NCL Epic next Friday out of San Juan, 9-day cruise, Southern Caribbean. Awesome. I missed the question there. Would I go on a cruise that takes me through Drake's Passage? I'm not sure where that is, but what is that? What kind of cruise is that typically a thing? I don't know. Tess Almond, maybe this will help with your Australian airfare. Merry Christmas, love you both. Besides Pike's Place, recommendations for Seattle Alaska cruise. So unfortunately, thank you for the super chat, Tess. I haven't done a lot other than walking up to Pike's Place and finding the Starbucks. But there's a museum there's a pop art museum there that's really good. The Mopar or Mopop or something like that. I would still like to do that. There's a Chihuly glass museum at the Space Needle. Which I love Chihuly glass. There's a great installation here, I think, in Tampa, and I saw a great one outdoor in Nashville. I would do that, and then I would do the Space Needle. So there's a lot to do in Seattle for sure. I still got to get over to Everett, Washington, and go to the Funko headquarters. I don't know if that would interest you, but I would do that. Tasmanian Sea Rough, maybe. I don't know. I'll find out soon, though. Question, which Holland American ship will you and Don be for the New Zealand trip? We're going on the Noordam. I'm looking forward to finally trying a Holland America ship. Question, parking for cruising, suggestions, price, location. I guess it just depends where you're at. Carl, I've liked parking at the cruise port lately. It costs a little more, but I like the access to my car. But most of the cruise ports, there'll be satellite parking lots. We paid $12 a day in Fort Lauderdale. Parked right behind the Dania Beach Casino. And then if you're flying in, or not flying in, but if you're driving in and you're staying at a hotel overnight, a lot of times you can get a good deal at the hotel you're staying at. So have you ever done a transatlantic? Is that on my bucket list? Schmeckonomics. Yes. Welcome to the show. Never done a transatlantic. Yes, it's on the bucket list. And so it's interesting with the big open calendar that I have for 2023. I made friends with a guy in the casino on the Sky Princess, and he's really turned me on to an interesting Princess cruise next year British Isles cruise. So I'm trying to talk Jenny B into that. But I don't know if that'll be a transatlantic or something we would fly over to. Question, I'm a guy with long hair looking to change. Do I try a ship barber to mix it up? Ship barber, land barber, I mean, you're going to pay more on the ship. So it just depends if you want to like have a short haircut and a story, I guess, and an expensive haircut, you can probably do it on a ship. But if you're looking just to change your look, I'd just go to the local barber and have them shape you up. Question, do you have to book shows when you get on the ship for Princess, or you can just go whenever? Princess, you can just go whenever, which is nice. Question, first, this is Dog Father's Barbecue. First interior cabin booked on February on the Carnival Breeze. Number one, are interiors as bad as I've made it out to be in my head? And what's the best way to go about seeking an upgrade? I don't think they're bad at all. Like, you sleep, they're dark, and usually the price is good, right? And so I'm okay with all of those things. Now, I do enjoy cruising with a balcony because I like to be able to look out at the sea, and it is hard once you go to a balcony, you'll never want to go back. If you're on a cruise line that has where you can bid for upgrades, that's a good way to do it. I have heard, but I haven't heard of much success where on the very first day of the cruise, you can go and ask, customer service if there's upgrades, but I haven't heard much of that. But man, interior, not interior, you're on a cruise ship, dude. So it's like, don't go into it thinking the interior is going to suck. Just think about the positive stuff for the interior where you can, sleep good and all that kind of stuff. Liz wants to know if we love her back. We certainly do love you back, Liz. Let's see. Oh, everything jumped. Chuck, thank you so much for the super chat. Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have a ton of fun. Thank you. Same to you. Merry Christmas, Chuck. Jonathan Branch, thank you for the super chat. My wife, Delma, and I enjoy your show. Thanks for the great cruising advice. Jonathan, thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you to you and your wife, Delma. Cruise. I changed my monitor around. That's why I keep looking up there. I'm sorry for looking up. Cruising. Jacqueline Mass, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you and Jenny eat at Rudy's Seafood Grill on the Celebration? If so, how was it? We did not. What did we basically stayed in Chibang or Cucina del Capitano. We didn't do the steakhouse. We didn't do anything like that. What's your go-to cocktail when you're on a cruise? Lately, it's been Sidecar on the rocks. Love on the rocks, ain't no surprise. Question, would you cruise around Hawaii? I really don't have a big desire to cruise around Hawaii. Again, that's a lot of outside for me. I mean, it'd be cool to go see like a luau and Hawaiian fire dancing. It'd be cool to go to a volcano. But again, that seems like a pretty like tropical sunny thing. So it's not necessarily on my list if I'm going to make a big piece of travel like that. Windjammer or Marketplace on Princess? Windjammer or Marketplace? I don't know what the question means, Clem. I think it's called the Marketplace on Princess, but the Windjammer on Royal. But yeah, the buffet was good on Princess. John Burnett, thank you so much for the super chat. Drake Passage is the southern tip of South America. Yeah, I would do it, especially if you got to get down to Antarctica or something like that. Antarctica, is that right? Or yeah, Antarctica. Jenny Yamato Sphinx, thank you so much for the super chat. Did you do Island Princess in the ocean to ocean Panama or anything must do on the ports? Tips when cruising through the locks, doing the old locks. So the old locks day is just a long day. So it took about 3 hours to go through the first locks, and I stayed out there the whole day. And so it was great. It was interesting to see one time. And so that was pretty cool. We didn't have any stops at Panama. So going from the Atlantic to the Pacific, there were no stops. But I think if you come from the Pacific to the Atlantic, you do stop in Panama City. But we did go to Hualtuco. I think that's when we went to Cartagena. And so like when in Cartagena, I just like did a tour of the old town and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Hang out there, man, and do that whole locks, though. Go all the way to the front of the ship. If you're on the Island Princess, I feel like it's deck 10 that has a front passage, and you might be able to get to the front of the ship. That's where I watched it at. It was pretty fun. Sea life with us, Jenny is good. Her foot is healing up and following the doctor's advice of trying to stay off of it for 10 to 15 days. Sean Barton is in the house. What's up, Team Barton? Good to see you guys. Happy holidays to Tony, Jenny, Blue Crew, and the Lolly Local fam. Stay safe, warm, and book another cruise. What are you most looking forward to this holiday? This holiday, I'm just looking forward to a little bit of a family get-together, seeing some of the kids, and then being off again. Every day feels like Christmas for us. We're having such a good time. It's so weird. Like, and I preach this a lot to my kids. We don't always make a big deal of days that other people have said are special. I feel like we're all very lucky for every day, and that every day is special. And so if you treat every day like it's special, then you don't have to wait for special days. I know that's a weird hippy-dippy kind of thing, but that's kind of how we talk about it. So, but yeah, you know, it's just it's cool because it's a reason to get together and that kind of stuff. But looking forward to it. Question: are the locks one at a time, or do they have two lanes, old and new? I just moved the whole desk up. The old locks, I think there were ships coming in both directions, and so when we approached the first lock system from the Atlantic, we had to wait for ships to clear that were coming toward us, and then we were able to go the other way. So, question. Tasmanian Sea is rough. How about that? That'll be interesting if I can get some film. When I was in Japan, I was part of I was in a typhoon, so that'll be interesting to see if something like that. Question. We booked Mardi Gras trip in July and also booked through GoPort in Orlando. Have you used GoPort? Thoughts or suggestions? I have not used GoPort. I'm not sure. Merry Christmas to you and Jenny from Canada. Love your show. Thank you, Denise. Steven Z, what's up, buddy? My brother from another mother. It's good to see y'all. Jenny B's doing good. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate it. Question: do you think the people on the ships are a little edgy, snippy because of cutbacks, price increases, and a lowering of the cruise experience? I think maybe on some level, Alan, that is true. So what happened, and I don't know if I mentioned this here yet, might have mentioned it on the Patreon show, but like folks like Don and I, we end up becoming like the complaint department on the cruise ship, I guess because we have presence on social media or whatever. So, you know, so many people were complaining, but it was like I got like a lot of complaints from people that had status on the cruise ship, like, oh, I'm so used to how it was in the past and this sucks and that kind of thing, which I think is fair. I'm not trying to diminish those complaints, but then I also, because of that, I tried to reach out to a lot of other people and just ask them how their cruise was going. So it was a mix. Like more people told me they were loving the cruise than weren't loving the cruise. I don't know why people are snippy and edgy. Maybe, but just because you're snippy and edgy at the cruise line doesn't mean you have to be horrible to other people. And I saw it on that Princess cruise where people were just snapping for no reason. You know, like the whole theater empties out at the same time. Of course, it's hard to get out of there because of the crowds. And then there would just be some people that would just be yelling at people like, move, get out of the way. What are you doing? When obviously people are just trying to navigate the crowd. And I don't know what causes that. I mean, you know, if your gratuities are 50 cents higher, I guess that means you can start yelling at people that are trying to leave the theater at the same time. I don't think so, but again, yeah, I think if you're that uptight about going on the cruise, it might be time to step back a little bit. I don't know. Terry Gallant, what's up, buddy? Do you know if you can book Uber, Lyft ahead of? I think you can schedule Uber and Lyft. I haven't done that in a long time, but something you can check into. Carl, staying on the ship when in port, what do you do and why do you do it? I like to stay on the ship because there's less people. One thing that if you really wanted like hot tub time or something like that, it's a great time to jump in the hot tubs because nobody's there. Hot tubs, if your favorite place to eat is always crowded, it's a good time to go to your favorite place to eat. But just walking around the ship without being a huge crowd around you, very nice. Very nice. Question from Calendar. Any line ship has a casino that stands out in the Caribbean, going to be playing mostly craps and roulette? I like so I don't know on craps. The only craps table that has like 3, 4, 5 odds on for odds bet is NCL. Most of the other cruise lines have single or double odds, so I think I like NCL for that. I don't know enough about roulette to say which one's better. If you're a blackjack player, though, most of the Carnival cruise corporations have auto shufflers, where Royal Caribbean, they will deal out of a shoe. So I kind of like the blackjack better on Royal Caribbean than I do on Carnival. What's your preferred cruise line and why? My favorite cruise line would be the next one that I'm going on, and the reason why is because it's the next one I'm going on. So I guess right now Holland America is my favorite cruise line. Fortunately, I don't have to pick. I can do most of them. So yeah. All right, Zealander Tours. I'm gonna take a picture of that. Zealander Tours. Hold on. Just someone to look at for Hobbitown. Thank you so much. I really want to go to Hobbitown. Spas are discounted during the port day. That's a good thing. What is your favorite all-time restaurant on a ship? Dina Hoover, what is your favorite all-time? That's a tough one. I feel like I've had some great food on a cruise ship. On the Celebrity Apex, they have a French bistro for lunch that becomes La Petite Chef in the evening. That restaurant was really good for lunch. And then on the Island Princess, their steakhouse doesn't seem like it would be much to contend with, but it had the best porterhouse steak I've had really in forever. So I like that one. Yeah, so Jackpot Jerry, that's kind of true. Like the $50 blackjack is hand shuffle high limit. I'm saying even on Royal, like you can get a $10 game out of a shoe, which is kind of nice. Vicky Banks, sorry about your loss. I am excited that you're going to go cruising again, so that's good. But yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky that we've got each other. I would agree with that. Smoky Traveler. Yeah, so are you sensing it too, Smoky Traveler? Is there a little level of hostility there on the Sky Princess? It caught me by surprise, honestly. Question from the Dogfather Barbecue. On the Mardi Gras, where did you find that it's your favorite chill out and not have to be on the go to anything on the Mardi Gras? I tell you what, like the Java Blue, the coffee shop there is great. And during the day when they're practicing the shows at Grand Central, that's a great place to get a coffee and have a donut or whatever and just sit and chill. I like that area. And then I think that's where I was at a lot. And then if you really want to get away, right behind the Alchemy Bar, there's some seating there that's not really out in the open. You can really sneak away and read a book over there, which is nice. Blue Moo Moo found the channel last week and been binge watching. Well, thank you. I've made 2,000 videos just for your binge watching, and they've changed a lot over 5 years, so that's kind of fun. I like Marquet's comment here. You don't know why people are snippy. Because I live in a YouTube bubble, detached from the degenerating middle class. Yeah, Mark, that's the way life works. I'm not in contact with anybody other than the YouTube bubble. No, Mark, I've seen the pain and everything that's gone on the last few years. I've been in the mix, and I still believe that people can choose how they treat other people. And, if Snippy's the best that people have because of their circumstance, I understand that also, but there's plenty of examples of people rising above their circumstance to be better than their circumstance, and that's what I would challenge people to do. But I get it. Yeah, I'm not immune from the challenges of life. Let's see. Question. How many ducks have you found in your cruising journeys? I can say, thankfully, 0. I haven't really looked for ducks. I mean, I see them here and there, but it's not my thing. It's not my thing, man. It's not the same world it was 2 or 3 years ago, Mark. I know. And it's not the same world that it was 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. If we study history at all, we can. Of course, I won't get into the middle of it. Hang in there, Mark. push through it. One of the greatest things about the human spirit is it is resilient, and we're kind of made to overcome challenges. And just keep pushing through it, and I hope things get better for you, my man, honestly. And I do believe that we can overcome. And I believe we do that individually, and as we overcome individually, we overcome as a people. Let's see. Do I have to wear a mask? I think I do right now have to wear a mask in Australia and New Zealand. The last thing I reported a few weeks ago was that they're masked up. So we'll have to see. I got to order some of my favorite black masks to take down there with me and see what's going on. I would disagree with you, Dogfather. I don't think there's any time that anybody needs to be smacked, but that's just me. I'm flying into Australia about 3 days, I guess, before my cruise, because I have the opportunity to stay at Sydney Harbor, where they have a big fireworks thing on New Year's Eve. So I'm going into Sydney on the 30th. My cruise doesn't start until the 2nd of January. Question, picky eater here, love sweets. Will I have good food on Celebrity Reflection? Yes. Celebrity has a pretty extensive buffet. Their restaurants all have a big variety. You'll be able to find food, and they'll help you. Like if you just want plain chicken or something like that, whatever makes you picky, but there's also plenty of sweets there. The food on Princess is very good. Question, was the first cruise ship that I cruised on? It was the Carnival Fantasy back in 2017. Question, like more historic sites, any suggestions for ports in the Caribbean? Any of those ports that you go to, there's going to be some sort of historical stuff. Whether if you go to Western Caribbean, you can definitely access Mayan, Aztec, Mayan ruins, I think. Are they Mayan or Aztec? I don't know. But you can go and find, ruins are the big thing. Like, ruins, temples. Those are the big things historically. But if you go to say, the Eastern Caribbean, St. Thomas, that kind of stuff, there's some British history there too. You can go explore some of that. So there's going to be a little bit of, most every port has some sort of beachy, some sort of historical, see the town kind of thing. But I would definitely go Western, and that way you could go see like a temple ruin kind of thing. Betty and Jeff Janicki, what's going on, you guys? Thank you so much for the super chat. We're going on the MSC Seaside in May. Wondering if you've ever cruised the Caribbean on MSC. I think so. I think we went to St. Thomas for the first time on MSC. I like MSC. I enjoyed the Seaside. I think you'll have a great time. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think my camera battery's going to die, so I'm going to change the battery real quick, real time. I ordered a battery that I could plug directly into the wall, and it didn't fit. So we're gonna lose the hey everybody, we're gonna lose the video for a second, but the audio shall remain. It's all the same. Only the audio remains every day. I'm just slipping away. Maybe. Let's see if we can get this battery in. And we're back. We're back in the cut, y'all. How about that? Just like that. This battery will make it through the rest of the show. Apologies for the disruption and the delay. Do you want to see more of the La Lita Loca logo? There we go. All right, back to our scheduled show. Question, best all-inclusive beach resort in Cozumel. The only one that I know is Mr. Sancho's, and man, they got me one day. If you want to go there, they're going to give you good food. They're going to give you plenty to drink. There's a fun pool to swim in. I like it. Have not cruised around Norway. That's on the bucket list. Common practice models of the ship you are on is it common practice models? The Big Pest, it is common that there will be ship models of the ship that you were on in the gift shops, if that's the question. Kay Hathaway just joined the show. How's Jenny B doing? Is she staying behind? No, she is staying behind. Even before she got hurt, she was not up for the Sydney trip, so that became the Don and Tony Boys trip, but she's doing well. She's following the doctor's orders, and she should be good as new in about another week. Question, I'm interested in behind the scenes stuff. Do cruise ships give tours, stuff like that, the engine room? Sometimes. So during COVID, they cut a lot of that out. It's called like Behind the Fun Tour on Carnival. I think that's actually come back. So check whichever cruise line you're going to see. Question, are you a Mac or Windows? I'm on a Mac Mini right now. And yeah, so I'm Mac. I got one PC, but I don't use PC for much anymore. Penny Engelking is Slinky's twin sister. How about that? Oh, question, John and Jane R. I like this question. How's the CPAP working out? I love it. I missed it so much after my cruises, and I finally ordered the CPAP Mini for this trip to Australia. It just came in the mail today, and I'm going to do an unboxing, but I am so excited about this tiny CPAP that I just picked out. Question, do you only use Allianz? We've been fighting to get paid on our delayed luggage for 10 weeks. Donna, that's the only cruise line or the only cruise insurance we've ever used, and we've never filed a claim. So I guess I need to file a claim for this $99 because that's $99 I could get back. We haven't done that yet. We've got to go through the process of filing the $99 and then the $20 rental for the wheelchair. And we'll see what goes. But I've never filed a claim with Allianz, so I can't speak to how the claim is going. I've heard other people say it's good. Now you're a person saying it's going bad, so hard to say. Hard to say. Question, what is your route flying to Australia? Going to be a long haul. So yes, Southern Cal Lady Golfer. I'll be flying from Orlando to Los Angeles, and then I'm flying from Los Angeles to Sydney. I think the whole trip's going to take a little over 24 hours. Let's see. Tammy R says Holland has signature bread pudding only served at lunch at the buffet. It's behind the dessert station. You have to. Okay, I'm not a big bread pudding fan, but with all of that build up, I might try it. Jackson LeMay, not a question. I want to say thank you for the content. You bring a big smile to the face of my fiance. Thank you so much. That's very kind, Jackson. Much appreciated. Let's see. Is your Sydney cruise leaving from the overseas passenger terminal or White Bay cruise terminal? Boris, I don't know. Honestly. I don't know. Hope it's in the harbor there. Are both of them in the harbor? Let's see if it'll tell me. I added it to Shipmate. It does not tell me. It just says that it's taking off from Sydney. I'm sure it'll be on my paperwork. No mask in New Zealand here at the moment, but we're having a Rona spike. I'm on search of now on Christmas Day with it, but that's the upside. Okay, maybe because it's going to New Zealand, we won't have to wear a mask. The Libra Man just started a channel last month based on mental health and substance abuse. You and Jay inspired me to start. That's awesome, man. There's nothing better. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I see a lot. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to go into. Let me just say this. I have said this from the very beginning when we first started in 2017. I think the more people out there making, and this doesn't necessarily apply to you, but I've heard some people concerned that maybe there's too many people making cruise content. And I contend today what I contended back in 2017, that the more people sharing their cruising experiences, telling their friends about their cruising experiences, driving them to YouTube, getting people that don't watch YouTube to watch cruising content, it's better for the whole community. But the community is a little fractured, which is a little sad. Like, I see a lot of people worried about what other people are doing, a lot of people not necessarily focusing on their own thing. But, the best advice I ever got doing YouTube came from my friend Don Terrace, who told me, don't worry about the only person that you have to compete with is yourself. And so if you're doing tomorrow better than what you did today, then you will succeed. And so if you're in the YouTube game, cruising, any other content, learn as much as you can about YouTube, be the best YouTuber that you can, and don't listen to what anybody else is doing. Don't care what anybody else is doing. Do better than yourself, that you're your only competition. That's the philosophy that I've taken over the last 5 years, and that's why I feel like that we've had the success that we have, because I wake up every day saying, how can I do this show, this channel, this YouTube better than I did the day before? How can I be the best YouTuber? And so I don't know why I'm on that soapbox, but it just hurts my heart. I want people to keep making content. So we haven't done it because we haven't been here, but if you are a creator and you want people to go look at your channel, just type creator by your name. Tell them why they should go look at your channel. That's something we've been doing for a long time. Show some cruise creators some love. It's not the easiest path to hoe, but much love, everybody out there. So, all right. Okay. What was I going to question? I don't know why I was. I've just been thinking a lot about it lately because it's. You really want everybody to be friends, and you realize the longer that you're in this thing that not everybody's going to be friends. You want everybody to be excited about their success and your success, and you find out that not everybody is excited about your success, and that's okay. But I still contend at the end of the day, the more people out there making cruise content for cruisers, the better we all will be. And so that's where I'm at on it. All right, let's see. Aussie question, have I tried Vegemite yet? Sadly, no. So my friend Ian, who I will get to see face-to-face in Sydney, my virtual friend Ian, he sent me Vegemite. We were supposed to try it, and we never did. And it sat in our shelf forever, and it might still be there. So I'm assuming that when I'm in Australia, I will be trying Vegemite. White Bay Terminal, not as good, but it sails under the harbor. Yeah, it should be great, whatever's happened. Whichever one I'm sailing out of. Question from Expediter Guy. Do I go on a 15-day NCL Bliss Panama Canal from Miami to LA or a 15-day Joy Panama Canal from LA to Miami? Well, what do you want to do? Like, what are you going to do at the end? Are you just going to go home, or do you want something else interesting to do? Like, I don't know where you're from, but for me, if I had to do it this time, I would go LA to Miami because I've done it the other way. Let's see. Yeah, so I paid a lot of money, a lot more money than I'm going to be reimbursed to fly Delta One. So I'm in the little pod. So I will be making a video about my flight that everybody needs to watch a lot because it was expensive. It was expensive, but I think it's worth it. And obviously I'm a big guy. I know it's up to me to lose weight. It still blows my mind that people want to obsess over my weight or over Jenny's weight. But yeah, because of that, I got to do something different on the flight. I had to pay more money because there's no way I could have made that just in an economy thing. So it's crazy. Question from John Guga. I have a Hero Cell free voucher for the Margaritaville cruise. Is it worth going on? I liked it. Like, I don't know how far you have to travel. Like, if you had to travel across the country for a 2-day cruise, I don't think I would do that. But if it's close and it's not going to be a big hurdle to jump through to get down there, it's a fun little 2-day cruise. Yeah, Delta One is. I'm excited about it though. I think it's going to be comfortable. Like it's going to be a long flight. Going on my first Princess cruise, end of January. Royal Princess, 10 days. Any tip, Oscar? Depends what you like. If you like to eat, make sure you check out the International Cafe. They have food 24 hours, good sandwiches, that kind of stuff. Again, it's hard to say depending how you like to cruise, what you're looking for. Movies Under the Stars is a really cool thing they do there. A lot of cruise lines do movie Under the Stars, but Royal puts out these really nice, loungers, and they give you a blanket, and it's nice. What's up, Chef Miggs? Glad that you're here. Have I ever been to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic? What is there to do there? Going on Christmas? I think I went there, Noah, but I didn't get off the ship. I don't know what there is to do at Puerto Plata. Anybody done that? Anybody done that? What do we got? We got 8 minutes left. 955 people. 634 likes. I think we could get to 800 likes. If you haven't hit the like button yet, I would challenge you to do that. Please. Any more questions? Anyone? I hope everybody has a good holiday. I guess it's next group cruise Kentucky Lady is, I think it's the 29th of January, the big vloggers cruise. That is the NCL breakaway from New Orleans. cold in Montana. It's not cold in Montana. It's 61 degrees here in Florida. Beat that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I bet you it is cold in Montana. What's going on? Thank you, Ryan. I do my best. I feel very lucky that I get to try to entertain you guys on a daily basis. So thank you that you guys watch the show. Because if people didn't watch the show, I would not be able to do this. So, uh, Kay Hathaway, I do have the Sky Miles that definitely got applied. I mean, I didn't have enough Sky Miles to apply to that flight, but this flight's going on my Sky Miles. Labadee Haiti on my Royal Cruise. Dan, there's a lot of stuff to do. It's really kind of a beach day. There's also at Labadee the big zip line there and the mountain coaster. Both of those are good. Was I always this awesome? I don't know, man. I've always been me. I guess it's relative whether people think that's awesome or not. Will I be on a ship during Aussie Day? I don't know what day that is, so I don't know. Have you sailed in? I've never been in the Haven before. That's very tempting, though, to do that. Princess seems to be moving to the all-inclusive fares. If both people don't drink, is it worth it to go with the rate? You have to price it out. Like I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but I did drink a lot of soda and coffee and sparkling water. So I think I got my money's worth, even though I don't drink a lot. But yeah, sometimes to add that stuff on individually can be quite expensive. So. Do you think something similar to TED Talks would generate enough interest on Captain's Table MDR? There's a lot of that on cruise ships. I met on the Sky Princess a lecturer. That's pretty common on Princess to have a lecturer. I mean, it's not going to fill up a whole sea day, but that thing definitely happens. 34, negative 34. You guys aren't branding cattle or anything, right? Because I know that's what they're doing on Yellowstone right now. They're branding cattle, so... Thank you, Karen Griswold. Yeah, I like this hat, actually. I guess that's what it is. But like on Amazon, it's called a landlord hat, I guess. I think I should get a different color. I just like that it doesn't have a bill, because sometimes the bill, you can't see my eyes. But I need a haircut, so I can't decide whether to get it cut before I go to Australia or right before. But I'm going to let the top grow out, but I still have to shave the sides. So I think I would have to get it cut twice if I'm going to do that before I go to Australia. Question, if you have the unlimited dining package but are unable to get a reservation on any restaurant due to crowding, can you get it? I would think so. Like, if you can't use the ultimate dining package, I would say yeah. That's why it's important, if you have the ultimate dining package, to book your restaurants as soon as you get on the ship for Royal Caribbean. That's probably the biggest tip. Thanks, Chef Miggs. Yeah, daily's hard sometimes, but I do love the challenge of creating something from nothing every day, right? Trying to find a unique spin on the news that's living out there and interesting topics. It's not always easy, but I do love the challenge, and I made a lot of videos. So it's interesting that I don't know where always that inspiration comes from, but yeah. Jenny B's doing good, Wendy. Thank you. What's the best thing to do on the Harmony going in January? Go see Grease. That was pretty awesome. Again, I don't know what you like, but for me, it would be Grease and playing blackjack. Thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. 6 weeks since my last haircut. Yeah, so it's tough. Like, ever since I've been a short hair guy, I almost have to get it cut every 10 to 12 days, which is annoying if I want to keep that short slee stack looking haircut. But it's been about 3 weeks now, I think. Schmeconomics, that's right. Again, there's a lot of great people out there making content. So it's the cool thing about YouTube, and I'm the same way, I'm a huge consumer of YouTube, is where else can you go get a bunch of free entertainment and of all these different kind of things. So it's pretty wild. Which ship has the best drink package to do? Suggest getting the... So, Julie, I think you have to drink 4 or 5 drinks for it to make sense. Drinks are about $12 to $14. I feel like not Royal, but NCL, I like the way that you add theirs on and you just pay the gratuities, like they're free at sea. You just pay the gratuities, and I feel like I had like a drink package for 7 days for, felt like a little over $100 for gratuities. So I think NCL does it good, but the thing on Princess is pretty good also. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people would enjoy being snippy at any time, but it happens, certainly. All right, guys, 2 more minutes, and I'm getting out of here. I'm out of here. I got to take the kid to the airport tomorrow at 8. So I either got to make a show tonight or the show will be late tomorrow. So I don't know, maybe an afternoon show tomorrow. Ryan, I'd definitely like to do Antarctica. There's so much to do, so many places to go. This interesting calendar says, for ports in the Western Caribbean, how hard would it be with local merchants if you only speak English and French and no Spanish? It's not hard. Most everybody speaks English. Have I sorted out a SIM card for the cell phone while in Australia? You will need one that does both New Zealand. No, that's a good call out, Ian. I guess I need to think about that. I did try the mason jar on the Wonder Kirk the first time I was on there. It was okay. I come from the South and I have Southern grandparents, and so you really got to be doing something if you're trying to sell me Southern food. So it wasn't like it wasn't my grandparents' Southern food. I'll tell you that. Best non-Oasis class royal ships in Florida. I got no idea, man. I like all those royal ships with the promenade. Odyssey. Odyssey's a great new ship. Yeah, Jacqueline, maybe I will see what develops in the news. The 12:15 time is good, but I would love to switch back to like a 3:15 time and see if there's more people watching at 3:15. But I do get a lot of people say, hey, I watch during lunch. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see that. Yeah, so I guess I'll be back on the 27th. We'll do another live show. Oh, what do you do if you have an eSIM phone? That's a good question. Yeah, I got to figure that out. I guess I got to call the T-Mobile and say what I need to do for Australia. I didn't think about that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for hitting the likes. Thanks for all of the great questions. If I didn't get to your question, I do apologize. Possibly leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it then. Or how about this crazy idea? Come back next week and try again. How about that? All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Tony. For the lovely Jenny B, we are La Lita Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.